July 2023, the streets of Chicago. A rookie steps into a NASCAR Cup Series car for the very first time. No ovals, no experience on American pavement, nothing but raw talent and a resume built on the other side of the world. He wins. Not top 10, not a podium. He wins the race. In his Cup Series debut, something no one had done in 60 years. That driver is Shane van Gisbergen. This is his story. Shane Robert van Gisbergen was born on May 9, 1989 in Auckland, New Zealand. Racing wasn't a hobby he stumbled into, it was in the family. His father, Robert van Gisbergen, competed as a rally driver, and by the time Shane was 5 years old, he'd already talked his dad into buying him a Suzuki ATV. From there, the path was almost inevitable. He spent his childhood tearing around motocross tracks and speedway ovals on New Zealand's North Island, moving through quarter-midget racing in karts before landing in Formula First, helped along by a scholarship from Speed Sport magazine. In the 2004-2005 season, he was runner-up in the New Zealand Formula First Championship and picked up Rookie of the Year honors. The following year, he won the New Zealand Formula 4 Championship, and in 2006-2007, he finished second in the Toyota Racing Series. The talent was obvious. The only question was how far it would take him. The answer came quickly. In 2007, at just 17 years old, Van Gisbergen signed with Stone Brothers Racing and made his V8 Supercars Championship debut at Oran Park in Australia in torrential rain. A fitting introduction for a driver who would become known for his brilliance in wet conditions. His 5 years with Stone Brothers Racing were a slow build rather than an instant sensation. His best championship finish during that stretch came in 2011, the same year he scored his first race win at Hidden Valley. When the team's ownership changed hands at the end of 2012, Van Gisbergen moved on to Techno Autosports, where he spent 3 seasons, took his first win as part of that new team in Adelaide in 2013, and finished runner-up in the championship in 2014. The turning point came in 2016 when Van Gisbergen joined 888 Race Engineering, one of the most successful teams in Supercars history. He didn't waste time. In his very first season with the team, he won his first Supercars championship title, backed by 8 race wins, including the 500th victory for Holden in the series. The next several years were a mix of heartbreak and progress. He finished runner-up in both 2018 and 2019, agonizingly close to a second title each time. Then, in 2020, he claimed his first Bathurst 1000 win, arguably the most prestigious race on the Supercars calendar. What followed was one of the most dominant stretches in the sport's history. In 2021, Van Gisbergen won the championship in commanding fashion, 14 wins and 23 podiums across 30 races, finishing more than 200 points clear of second place. Remarkably, part of that season was completed while he was racing through a broken collarbone and cracked ribs sustained in a mountain biking accident. He backed it up in 2022 with an even more prolific season. 21 race wins, a second Bathurst 1000 victory alongside co-driver Garth Tander, and his third Supercars title. In 2023, his final full season in the category, he won a third consecutive Bathurst 1000 but finished runner-up in the championship to Brody Kostecki. By the time he left Supercars, Van Gisbergen had accumulated 80 race wins and 46 pole positions across more than 500 races, placing him 4th on the sport's all-time wins list. Van Gisbergen's talent was never confined to one category. In 2016, he piloted a McLaren 6.5 SGT3 to victory at the Bathurst 12 Hour and helped win the Blancpain GT Series Endurance Cup, McLaren's first team win at Bathurst. He continued to build a strong sportscar resume over the years, including a podium finish at the 24 Hours of Daytona and a Le Mans debut in 2022. The same year, he also tried his hand at rallying, scoring points on his World Rally Championship debut. That versatility, the willingness to jump into almost anything with a steering wheel and 4 wheels, became one of his defining traits, and it's a big part of what made his next chapter possible. In 2023, while still competing in his final Supercars season, Van Gisbergen got his shot in NASCAR through Trackhouse Racing's Project 91 program, which brings international drivers into the Cup Series. His first start came on the newly created street circuit in downtown Chicago, a race with no history, no precedent, and no home track advantage for anyone. He won it. It was the first time in 60 years since Terry Labonte's rookie season back in the 1970s era of NASCAR record-keeping that a driver had won in their Cup Series debut. He followed that up days later with a top 10 finish at Indianapolis, becoming the first driver since 1978 to open a Cup Series career with back-to-back top 10 finishes. In 2024, Trackhouse signed him as a developmental driver, and he ran a full Xfinity Series season with Trackhouse Racing while making select Cup Series starts, building his experience on ovals, an entirely different discipline from the road and street courses where he'd made his name. By 2025, Van Gisbergen committed to NASCAR full-time, driving the number 88. Now the number 88, now the number cell. 97 Chevrolet for Trackhouse Racing in the Cup Series, while also making select starts in the Xfinity and Truck Series. His rookie Cup season was a strong one. 5 race wins, 5 top 5 finishes, and 7 top 10 finishes, earning him Sunoco Rookie of the Year honors and a 12th place finish in the championship standings. His wins that year included victories at road course venues like Mexico City, the Charlotte Roval, and Watkins Glen. In July 2025, he returned to the scene of his historic debut, the Chicago Street Course, and won again, becoming just the second driver in NASCAR history to win both an Xfinity Series and a Cup Series race from the pole position, a feat previously accomplished only by Kyle Busch. From a 5-year-old on a Suzuki ATV in rural New Zealand, to a 3-time Supercars champion with 80 race wins, to a driver who walked into NASCAR as a complete outsider and won anyway. Shane van Gisbergen's career has been defined by one thing above all: an ability to get into almost any car on almost any track and go faster than the people who've been doing it their whole lives. He's still writing that story. As of now, he continues to compete full-time in the NASCAR Cup Series with Trackhouse Racing, chasing new records on tracks his home country never gave him the chance to drive on.